What's going on, TV land?
Okada!
We are here to do, among other things, review the New Japan Kings of...
Okada!
New Japan Kings of Pro Wrestling pay-per-view from October 14th.
I know all these fans don't understand English because they're stupid!
From October 14th, 2013, this year of our Lord.
Okada!
What's Drew doing? Well, I'll tell you what Drew's doing. Drew is reenacting his, I'm going to say, favorite promo of all time now.
Is
that accurate?
Look, when you have an angry white man with a beard standing over top of a Japanese man, screaming his name at his face.
Screaming in his face.
I'm gonna love it. It's gonna become my favorite thing.
That was the aftermath of the main event of the show, so we got a little bit of ground to cover before we get to that. But are we gonna do any preamble, or we're just gonna get down to business? Because I don't know, we got a couple orders of business to cover in this cast.
In this cast of the show?
In this webcast, podcast, broadcast.
Broadcasts.
I'd like to cast some broads.
I'd cast a lot of broads. Like those backdoor casting couches. They think they're getting a job in porn, but really, they're just fucking some dude.
They're just fucking a dude is all they're doing.
They are
Maybe
dumb.
it's some like weird meta thing where that is actually getting filmed and that is the porn.
It is getting filmed and it's getting put on the internet, but those girls get no money from it.
No, they don't.
They are fucking dum-dums.
in multiple meanings of that sentence.
Yes.
They're fucking dum-dums and they're fucking dum-dums. Other dum-dums.
But how dum-dum can that guy be? He's tricking girls into fucking him on camera.
No, I'm on his side.
And they get no money from it.
Yeah, no.
And then he puts on the internet and gets money.
I guess he's really not that much of a dum-dum.
No, he's not.
No, he's pretty good. He knows. He's savvy.
Well, but he does have a very low IQ.
That's kind of what I meant.
Yes.
He's done well with what he's got.
He's the smartest retard on the planet. With a mediocre-sized dick.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need to get by it. Hey, you listening out there? You're a borderline retarded, below average dick. You can still do well for yourself.
You can do very well for yourself. Yeah. You can get a bunch of Midwestern, 5s and 6s to bang you on camera.
I'm moving to Hollywood. But yeah, wrestling is also a thing. Segue!
Segueing from tricked into sex into wrestling.
Which actually, as we can both attest to,
hand in hand.
Not too far a stretch.
They are partners in crime.
So, yeah, on last episode we previewed this pay-per-view that we're going to review. We didn't preview it great because we were in the wrong country and thus couldn't pull up the card, lest we spend $5 per megabyte on roaming data. Thanks, cell phone industry. So we forgot a couple.
Thanks, Obama!
Exactly. I think he is the one and only person to blame in this situation. So, yeah, we forgot a couple of key matches, including probably my second or third favorite match on the show, which is still a high praise, because this is arguably the show of the year. I don't think there's been a stronger top 5, even 6 matches anywhere else this year, including even the other really good New Japan pay-per-views this year. So, I don't know, I'm fine just jumping into it and running down the card and saying what we thought about stuff.
Go.
So the opening sort of dark match was Manabu Nakanishi, Super Strong Machine, Jushin Liger, and Tiger Mask 4 versus Takashi Iizuka, Yoshihashi, all capitals, Jado, and Gedo. This match was nothing, as I recall.
We didn't really watch it, did we?
Maybe we didn't.
We didn't watch it there unless you watched it later.
I didn't. That's why I remember nothing about it.
Yeah, we didn't watch it. Because when we watched it...
It started right.
Yeah, when we started it live, it was already over, and then when we went back in the morning to finish it, it was at the beginning of the thing because it could go all the way back. But we didn't watch it.
And we said, fuck it.
Because of who was in it and what it was.
Having not seen this match, 1.25 stars, match was there, nothing happened. First match we saw was for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title, featuring Rocky Romero and Alex Kozlov, Forever Hooligans, taking on challengers Taka Michinoku and Taichi, who had recently lost a number 1 contenders match to Alex Shelley and Kushida, and then Alex Shelley got, I can't remember what the injury was, but it's actually kind of bad, and he's out for a few months. So the guys who lost the number 1 contendership got the title shot.
Realistically, as it should happen. Because even though you lost, it was still a number 1 contenders match.
So in theory, you were the number 2 contenders.
Down, yeah, then you're technically number 2.
I guess it works.
I guess that's how it works.
It's just weird that you lose the thing for the shot and get the shot. But there's no one in the junior tag division right now, or the junior division, so they're pretty slim pickings. So we saw this match in July, I think, at that pay-per-view, and it was they did heel versus heel. Well, technically heel versus heel. The regular heel team of Romero and Kozlov actually sort of worked face, as they did again in this. I think the July match was better. I don't think you've seen it.
Nope.
This match was fine. I didn't love it.
I enjoyed the two of them putting on Kozlov's hat and then running and kicking him in the face.
Yes, always fun.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, and Taka and Taichi, who weren't even scheduled to be in the match, ended up winning the junior tag titles. And so we'll see where they go from that. Right now, what they're doing is they did like an 8-team junior tag tournament, which is currently the semis and finals are coming up on November 6th, and then we think presumably the winner of that is going to face Taka and Taichi at the November 9th pay-per-view, which we're going to preview in a bit, and we're hoping the winner of that is the Young Bucks, because it'll be sweet, even though, again, you're getting heel versus heel, but I guess someone will default to face in that.
I guess realistically the Bucks would just have to play faces, probably.
Yeah.
As long as they can get the crowd behind them, because I really can't see the crowd getting behind Taka.
Or especially Taichi, because the crowd legit hates...
That's true.
Taichi gets X-Pac heat.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they could get behind Taka because he's like a fun heel.
I guess.
But not Taichi.
Taichi's just a
Sorry,
messy shit of a man. And the crowd understands that. They know what's up.
Exactly. So, yeah, so that's what's going on there. Next up was Minoru Suzuki taking on Toru Yano. Sorry?
Are we not giving stars to that one?
Oh, sure, I'll star it up. I don't know, 2 and change.
Yeah, 2 and a bit.
Yeah.
2.5 at best.
Nothing you need to go way out of your way for. Next up was Minoru Suzuki and Toru Yano. I'm not going to rate it highly in stars, but it was pretty fun.
It was really fun.
It was 7 minutes. It was goofy.
It was really goofy. It had the fact that they had a match previous
at the G1.
At the G1,
yeah,
where the finish was Yano handcuffed him to the guardrail.
Yeah.
And then won by countout.
Yeah.
So in this match, Suzuki handcuffed him to the guardrail to win by countout. But of course,
they're Yano's handcuffs.
Yano brought the handcuffs,
so he has the key. So he let himself out.
Locked himself and got back in the ring.
And then fought for a while with the handcuffs dangling from one arm. And then Suzuki got the advantage again, recuffed him, threw the key into the audience, beat the fuck out of him, and gave him a cradle pile driver where Yano couldn't post.
Yeah, it was a
with his hands,
cradle
so he had
pile
to deadlift.
Yeah, that was pretty insane.
Which is pretty good. And he did the same thing. Actually, same thing as a match we just watched from July, where Suzuki was against Tomohiro Ishii, where he has him up for the cradle pile driver and really holds him there for a while and makes him think about what he's done. Basically, he's punishing him for the match leading up to that point.
Review your entire life in your head.
Think about your decisions while you're upside down, and I'm holding you by the balls. So yeah, it was 1 3/4, but it was really fun for that number.
Yeah, the stuff that was the rest of the match was fine.
Yeah.
But the best parts of the match were great.
Yeah. Suzuki's, always good. I never don't enjoy his stuff. He's got the best facials in wrestling too. He's awesome.
And some great hair.
And some high maintenance hair.
Yeah.
What do we got? Next was supposed to be Tenzan and Kojima defending the tag titles for the 14th time against Killer Elite Squad of Lance Hoyt / Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr. / Harry Smith / DH Smith. But in the pay-per-view prior, in September, Satoshi Kojima was challenged for the world title in the main event against Kazuchika Okada, which was a great match. And everything went swimmingly the whole match, and then when it came time for Okada to inevitably win, he hit the Rainmaker, his finisher, and Kojima decided to take a lunatic bump directly on top of his right shoulder and separated it. So he was not wrestling this month. So Rookie took his place, and obviously it wasn't for the tag titles anymore. Takaki Watanabe. I think he did pretty good. He's like a young heavyweight. So he was fiery, and the crowd was behind his little hope spots and comebacks and stuff. The match was fine. Any bits you had on it?
I don't think there's anything very memorable about the match.
Yeah.
Like, there was no, they didn't murder them with anything. It was just it was a fine middle of the card, early on the card tag match.
Yeah. Yeah, and if Watanabe keeps doing his thing, I think he'll be something in New Japan at some point. It's tough to tell with rookies at such an early stage in their career, but like Tanahashi was a rookie at some point, and you're like, he's got something. And sometimes they turn into Tanahashi, sometimes they turn into like Toru Yano. It's hard to say, but some of this crop of rookies are going to be world champions one day, so it's got to be someone. Next up was the first of the final 6 matches, all of which were really good. This was probably the weakest of the 6, but still really good. The 6-man tag team encounter featuring the Bullet Club, Drew's favorite people in the world.
Only one of them.
I don't know, Devitt's pretty cool, too.
Bad Luck Fail's pretty good, too.
And Bad Luck Fail's pretty good, too, exactly. Bullet Club of Prince Devitt, Carl Anderson, and Bad Luck Fail. A lot of people will tell you it's pronounced Fale, but I see Fale, and I pronounce it Fail.
They failed at spelling his name.
Taking on face team of Togi Makabe, Tomoaki Honma, and in his first match as a contracted New Japan wrestler, Kota Ibushi. He signed with New Japan. He remains signed with DDT, so he's actually signed with 2 companies at once, which is cool because he gets to do everything now. So good for him. And this was just straight up a very fun 6-man. Devitt's kind of the captain of the Bullet Club, but this match actually probably featured Carl Anderson more than him. And it became apparent why at the end of the show. The finish was the one thing I didn't love, but I understand because it's the 4th match on the show, so you don't need to go crazy. But the finish was it was like a back and forth between Anderson and Honma, and then Anderson picks him up, hits his TKO, and then just picks him up, hits his cutter, and that's it. And I just kind of expected one more like Honma hope spot or kick out in between, but it was just Anderson hitting 2 moves and that was it. But again, the intention was to make Anderson look super strong, which it did. So so that was fine for what it was. I would have liked the match more if it had like a series of near falls at the end, but again, there's probably not going to be a big series of near falls in the 4th match on the show.
In a 6-man tag.
But yeah, still good. In the low 3 stars range, 3 3.25.
Yep.
Now we get to the last 5, all of which, is that right? Yep. All of which I rated 4 stars or higher, which you can't say about a lot of shows. I don't know if you did the same, Drew, but I bet you'd be close even if you didn't.
I didn't, but I can give you them off my head.
Good. Well, we will do that when we come back. We're going to go watch Bad Grandpa right now and come back to you from the bowels of the movie theater parkade. We back. Just saw Bad Grandpa. If you want to hear what we thought about it, you're going to have to listen to the movie
podcast.
This is a wrestling podcast. Where did we leave off? Oh, that's right. The best top 5 matches maybe in the history of wrestling.
It's got limited competition.
Yeah. So
let's see. Halloween Havoc 96.
Whatever year you say is going to be stupid.
Well, Halloween Havoc 96. Is that Hogan Warrior?
Hogan Warrior is 98.
Okay, then it's 98. Halloween Havoc 98. Hogan Warrior. cut off DDP Goldberg main event.
Yep.
So there you go. There's 2 right there.
Yep. You, yeah, like I'm going to go deep on the Havoc 98 card. I don't know what I'm trying to do here.
Well, now I want to look it up while you continue to talk about this.
All right.
I wish to find out.
Look up the Havoc 98 card and see if it compares to this. So, let's start with the first of 5, which is the rematch from day 4 of the G1 Climax, which Dave Meltzer rated as his second 5-star match of 2013. Katsuyori Shibata versus my man. Actually, they're both my man. Tomohiro Ishii. My stocky man. He's definitely my favorite stocky man. They killed each other again. I guess I can't say it was as good as their previous, but it was still really damn good.
Had one of the best ending sequences.
The ending sequence is amazing, and actually, they did a really cool variation on like the willingly take a shot and go shot for shot thing. Because normally people will do it just like standing and trading strikes, or I think Goto and Shibata did like get on one knee, and I think one guy did kicks, one guy did chops, and that was cool. But these guys did a new thing I haven't seen, which is stand willingly in the corner and let the guy hit you with a running strike and then keep repeating that. And that was awesome. And spoiler is a spot we're probably going to be stealing next time we get in the ring. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Shibata got his win back because Ishii got the win in the G1. And yeah, like Drew said, awesome finishing stretch. They teased the double KO and didn't do it, which I'm always a fan of because I like a winner. The previous one was 5 stars. This one, I'd say 4.5. It was still great. If someone wanted to say 4 3/4, I wouldn't be mad at them.
Scott, I'm going to give that match 4 3/4.
Drew's going to give it 4 3/4, and you know what? I'm not going to be mad at you. Meltzer, if I recall, gave it 4 1/4, which, I don't know, I guess it's fine.
Is he basing that on how the other one being a 5?
Yes, because, spoiler, he did rate another match on the show 5, and also, because he's also comparing it to the previous one, and he thought it wasn't as good, and so I think that almost worked against the rating of this match because it wasn't as good as the previous 5-star match. But I think it's an easy 4.5 is what I think. Second in that in the finishing stretch of the show, this one is the one Meltzer didn't rate 4 stars. I think he gave this 3 3/4. I'd give it an even 4, so we're still close. Yuji Nagata versus Kazushi Sakuraba. They had a match, was it the previous? No, 2 months previous, I think. No, it would have been 3, because the month before was G1. Yeah, so they had a singles in July, and it was fine, but it was like all grappling. I don't know if there was like a lifting move done. I don't know if there was a suplex or slam or anything in the whole thing. It was pretty much just all mat stuff. And it was fine for what it was, but this one they did that, but then threw in like spots.
Yeah, lots of spots.
Which made it a lot more exciting and was much more in style, like the ill-fated tag match from, I guess, April. Which was Nagata and Goto against Sakuraba and Shibata, which was like had the cool grappling stuff, but then they were doing spots and good ones and like on its way to like best tag match of the year, and then and then Nagata suplexed Sakuraba's arm out of his arm.
That might be the perfect way to describe it.
Yeah.
I kicked your arm right out of your arm.
So that was too bad. But what was not too bad was this match, which was really good. Nagata got the win because Sakuraba got the submission last time, so Nagata got the pin with the backdrop suplex hold, I do believe.
Yep.
This will confirm that. Yes, it does. And then, tell us about what they set up after the match.
Well, it was partially set up beforehand.
They showed them watching.
They showed them watching. They let them talk.
Yeah.
They have decided that for the Tokyo show...
Yeah, in January.
They would bring in some outside, in air quotes, celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
So they decided that they were going to
some people from a family that Sakuraba has a good deal of history with.
That he's had a back history of beating them up.
Of killing them.
They allowed 2 members of the Gracie family, although one of them is not officially a Gracie.
He's by marriage?
By marriage.
Yeah.
Allowed them to challenge any wrestlers to a match at the Dome show, conveniently right before the Nagata and Sakuraba match.
Yes, the timing worked out well.
And then after the match, Nagata got on the mic, accepted their challenge, and before he was done, Sakuraba got up, grabbed the mic, asked him if he wanted to be his partner. Then they pinky swore on it.
Pinky swore on it, of course.
And then the Gracies accepted, I guess. They didn't really say anything. They just kind of...
It's on. It's happening.
And then they left.
Yeah.
So we get to look forward to a shoot fighter, a shoot fighting wrestler, and 2 shitty shoot fighters having a wrestling match at the Dome show in January.
It'll be interesting. Neither of those Gracies has ever done a worked match before. So
one of them's never won an MMA fight.
One of them's never won an MMA fight, so he's kind of 0 for 2. But it'll be interesting. I assume they'll spend some time in the New Japan Dojo. I really hope they do and don't just go in there and wing it, which I think could lead to a mess.
Oh, I lied. Daniel Gracie is 5-4-1 in MMA.
It's not so bad.
But he's never fought...
Anyone?
He drew and then beat Wes Sims. Congratulations.
Wes Sims has his moments.
He also beat Nakamura in a shoot fight.
Yes.
By arm lock.
Now, when was that?
2002.
Yeah, that is the match that, even though Nakamura lost, got him his completely undeserved world title reign in 2003. That's a fact.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I can't believe I'm saying that now, because Nakamura is the fucking man.
Yeah.
But he sucked in 2003, guys. You're looking up other Gracie?
I'm looking up Roger. He's 6-2. He's actually had 1 fight in the UFC where he lost to Tim Kennedy in July of this year.
Oh, really? Huh.
But he also previously fought for Strikeforce. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows for Strikeforce. But again, he beat Keith Jardine, he lost to King Mo, and he beat Kevin Randleman in 2010.
Solid.
Relevance. Kevin Randleman. He also beat the H2O man, Ron Waterman.
Love it. Former WWE developmental.
Yep. In Vancouver in 2006.
Wait, did I see that?
Under a card that says Bodog Fight USA versus Russia.
I was...
Held in Canada, featuring a Canadian and a Brazilian.
I was 100% there.
Well, you've seen Roger Gracie.
I have seen Roger Gracie. Please, let's pronounce it right. Hoger Gracie.
Hoger and Haniel.
Hoger and Haniel, even though it's spelled the D. The D is also pronounced like an H.
Yes.
Yeah, I was definitely at the Bodog fight.
Well,
I somehow got free tickets to it.
That's disgusting.
I was there. Dan was there. We ran into the Merc there, who is a person we don't like for those listening, who used to wrestle with us.
Who nobody knows.
Yeah. So yeah.
So that was it. That was it.
That was that.
Post-match.
I'd give it 4.
I give it 4, sure.
Yeah.
4, maybe even 4 and a quarter.
Yeah, I thought it was quite fun. Next up was Tetsuya Naito defending his never openweight title, which is the 3rd tier championship, and his so far guaranteed Dome Show world title shot against former tag partner and friend, but no longer either of those, Yujiro Takahashi, Mr. Pussyfingers himself. And it was really good. Naito, since he's come back from injury in June, has looked better every time, because he was a little off his first few matches in. Like, I don't know if he's got it anymore, or at least as much as he did when before he got hurt, because he was really hot before he got hurt. But yeah, he looked great in this. I think it's the best Yujiro match I've seen. I don't know if you'd agree.
I haven't seen tons, so...
Yeah. But yeah, so probably the best Yujiro.
But yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Naito got the win, obviously, because Yujiro is not getting the world title shot at the Dome.
What?
Sorry to spoil it.
Oh, that's horrible.
I really don't think he is. They did a really good job. Worked a really good fast pace. Naito is really trying to put over his new submission. Because pretty much he's only ever finished with the Stardust Press before, and now he's trying to get over another finish, so it can be a near fall in the Dome show. That's the entire point of that. Same way Okada brought his new submission when he won the New Japan Cup for his title shot and win against Tanahashi in April. Exact same thing here with Naito. It's called the Pluma Blanca, which is the white feather, which is adorable.
It's precious.
It's a sort of a fast headlock takedown into a Koji clutch.
Yeah.
Basically, it's pretty cool. The way the match finished, he hit his weird like hammerlocky suplex thing. Which is probably one of the best he's ever hit it, because it's an awkward move. If you hit it good, it's good. Otherwise, it looks like shit. This one, it was actually good. Then he hit the Stardust Press, but didn't hit it well. Like, sort of landed on his legs, and then very quickly put the submission on. Even though he didn't hit the Stardust well, I think it would have got a bigger reaction from the crowd had he just pinned him, because the crowd, they're not that into the submission.
Not really.
But hopefully they will be more, and now that it's got him a win, it's a little more believable. So
it's a legit finish now.
Yeah,
because he beat a legit guy with it.
Yeah, and he probably won't finish a lot of other. Well, you'll probably finish like small match with it, but he won't win a lot of other major matches with it. But now he's won with it. Now he can basically use it as a late match submission equivalent of a near fall.
Yeah.
In future ones, so it's probably accomplished its goal. And yeah, like I said, really good Yujiro match, really good Naito match, good for both guys, and I'd say 4.25 for them.
You know what? I will give it 4.5.
And nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
it was really good.
I thought it was really good. I thought that they had a lot of good. The match flowed very well.
It did, yeah,
and it had very good flow to it. It was really
the pace was really.
The pace was really good.
It went. I'm just looking. It went 16 and a half minutes, and I don't remember it ever really slowing down that much.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Both dudes got. I was going to say both dudes got cardio to spare, but basically almost everyone in the Fed does. Toru Yano, who looks like a paler Japanese version of me, has amazing cardio. So
yeah, all Japs have pretty decent cardio.
Yeah, I guess they train and stuff.
They must.
So that takes us to our semi-main event, featuring an IWGP Intercontinental title defense, which is their secondary title, by Shinsuke Nakamura versus Noah's Naomichi Marufuji. This match fucking rules.
I think you're underselling it, Scott.
I think I am.
I don't know that there are words in the English language that can describe this match. There is only words in the Japanese language to describe this match.
And those words must be shouted into a microphone.
Angrily shouted.
By the announcer. Now, here's the thing. I can't, in good conscience, call this the best match on the show, unfortunately. It's the best match on any other show. It was awesome. And it did have...
Any other show as long as the main event wasn't on that same show.
Exactly. And it did
on any show where this is the main event, this is the best match on the card.
Yeah, 100%. And what I will say, it did have the best sequences on the show.
Yes.
This had like 3 or 4 amazing reversal sequences. There was one where they were fighting. Marufuji was on the apron. Nakamura was on the inside, and they fought. And then Marufuji got Nakamura down and dazed, like hanging over the second rope. Marufuji walks into the next time zone and then comes running back with a drop kick. Nakamura dodges.
Also known as the Kelly Summers' favorite move.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's very cool. Nakamura dodges the drop kick, and then they do like 3 more things.
Yeah.
And do you remember what it ended with? I don't, unfortunately. But
I don't remember.
The sequence was awesome, and their finishing sequence was killer, with a lot of people getting kneed in the chin.
Yes, like shoot kneed in the chin.
It looked like it really hurt.
Like you go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one by Nakamura was really mean.
Yes.
Super mean.
Super mean to set up the finish. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, Nakamura won with as was expected with his big knee, the Boma Ye. And match like was structured really well. Marufuji teased the Shiranu a lot before he hit it, so it was a big deal when he did hit it. And they're like, "Oh, could this actually get the pin?" It didn't, which then big pop on the near fall. And yeah, just a ton of cool shit in this match. And it wasn't just a spot fest where they just did cool shit. It was a wrestling match with cool shit worked in, which is why these guys are really good. And I have zero problem giving this match 4 3/4 stars. Drew pointed at me, gave me a thumbs up, and then the A-OK sign, and now he is giving the zip the lips, lock it, and throw away the keys sign. I don't know why Drew decided to do charades on a podcast, but
I need to bottle up my excitement for this match, so I had to lock it up, toss away the keys so I wouldn't scream into the recording device that this match was awesome.
Yeah.
But yes, 4 3/4, like the highest possible 4 3/4
4 7/8
before being a 5.
Yeah, this match was the last step on the way to 5 stars. And not that... And some things are like they had a 5-star match, but they fucked something up, so I have to knock it down to 4 3/4. These guys fucked nothing up. It was just awesome, and we might actually... And us and everyone, because I haven't heard anyone actually give it 5 stars. Meltzer also gave it... No, Meltzer gave it 4.5. 4.5 or 4 3/4. I can't remember.
Meltzer's drunk.
Meltzer might be drunk. But I think it might be because the next match is 5 stars, and people are very reluctant. And that match was longer and it probably had a little more psychology, even though this had it for sure. I think people are not that willing to give a shorter and not as big and high profile match 5 stars. Preceding a match that clearly is 5 stars. I think it's hard to do, but I'm pretty happy with 4 3/4.
It's also hard if you're comparing it, right? If you're just basing it solely on a standalone match.
Yeah, if you watched it in a vacuum, then yeah, maybe you do, maybe you don't. It's hard to say, but the way
watching that, then watching the next one, maybe you say like that was 5 stars.
So I can't give this one.
Then
5
you watch
stars.
the next one, you're like, hey, no, that was 5 stars.
Yeah, that's true.
The one before
so
was...
this one goes back to 4 3/4.
Only because of
the next
that
one.
I got beat. Yeah. Right, like
so this one might actually suffer from the match that came after it, even though it was awesome.
And then so Nakamura wins.
Yeah.
As usual.
Oh, yes.
You would expect a challenger to come out.
Yeah, as New Japan often does with post-title matches, they do basically the here comes a new challenger gimmick.
I personally was really hoping for Shibata.
Yeah.
Shibata's been on a little bit of a roll.
Yep, and has not wrestled Nakamura yet.
Which I was hoping for. However,
I think you might get your wish at the Dome.
We got
say that.
Different opponent who we are both perfectly okay with.
Yes. Minoru Suzuki.
Old crazy man himself.
I've been waiting for a big match between these guys forever. I think it's going to be awesome. They had a match at the G1 that we actually just watched, as chance would have it. It was really good, but as it's in the G1, normally they're not going more than 12 or so minutes because the whole card is singles matches. And they weren't the main event. I think they were maybe 4th of 8 on the card, so they wrestled like they were 4th of 8 on the card, which for a 4th match, it was awesome.
Yep.
Like, that match was probably over 4 stars. But now they're going to be probably semi-main on this show coming up.
I would imagine.
Yeah, and they're going to go about as all-out as they can. Pretty much what Nakamura is doing in the semi-mains that he's been doing, like he just did with Marufuji on this. And I think they're going to kill it and each other.
And each other. I think that Nakamura might get more beat up. Because Suzuki is probably the last person I want to wrestle. Him or Shibata.
I was going to say, I've watched that one. I think Shibata's the last person I want to wrestle. Suzuki's probably the second last. I think Shibata would be a slightly more likely to knock me out with a kick, but that's not to say Suzuki wouldn't knock me out with a slap.
Yes. He might knock you out with the first slap.
Yeah. Because,
then you have to throw the rest of the match out the window.
He goes for it when he goes for it. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of slaps versus knees, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And I bet there's going to be some because Nakamura seems to be involved in a lot of the matches with cool sequences in them.
Yeah.
So I think he is responsible for a lot of them. So I think that him and Suzuki are going to put some interesting stuff together. And Suzuki, when he's in with guys who are a little flashier, tends to step up to that, because I remember would have been Okada Suzuki, yes, I was right, in February, and that had a surprising amount of cool sequences. A lot of interesting, like, Rainmaker to Cradle Pile Driver reversals and stuff, and lots of spinning and twisting and dancing that made me pleased. So I think this will be much of the same. So that takes us to the main event. Kazuchika Okada defending against Hiroshi Tanahashi, their fourth match of 2013.
Okada!
Fourth match of 2013, sixth match since 2012. They are
They're the John Cena and Randy Orton of 2010, 9, whatever it was.
Yeah. They're, I didn't know until someone pointed it out, they were 2-2-1 going into this. So that
changed.
That changed because this match had a finish. It did not remain 2-2-1 after their sixth match.
2-2-1 and no contest.
2-2-1-0 or 1-1, I guess. Yeah. So Okada's a champion going in. Pretty much whoever wins this is guaranteed to be defending the title at the Dome show. Because there's, well, not necessarily, but this is like
most likely
the October show's like top 3 big shows of the year. So there's another pay-per-view in November. Champion's likely to retain there, and there usually isn't a title match on the December pay-per-view because it's the finals of their tag league. So pretty much you win October, you're going to January, and there was definitely question as to who was going to win, because it's pretty much set that Naito is getting the title shot, because they're not going to change that after he won the G1. So I would personally rather have Okada Naito. One, because their one match in 2012, right after Okada won the title for the first time, was awesome, and basically put both guys on the map. As far as main eventers, obviously people knew who they were because they were in a world title match. Mainly that, and we had just seen Tanahashi Naito as the finals of the G1, and I didn't need to see Tanahashi again as much as I like the guy. And I think Okada Naito is a more interesting and fresher top of the card match, and they can go crazy, and especially on the Dome show, it's their WrestleMania, right? So they can fucking go nuts.
So like we said when we previewed it, there was many stipulations for this match.
Some of which didn't end up coming true.
However, yeah, from what I understand, I don't know what you heard about it, that they sort of changed their minds like last minute. Like, did you hear any reasons for that, or they just kind of decided there's too much going on? I
think that's exactly what happened. There's too much going on because Tanahashi has a major title in Mexico in CMLL, and it sounded like that title was going to be put on the line as well. Tanahashi didn't even enter with it. He there was no mention of it. That was basically wiped totally clean from the slate, so that title wasn't on the line. Then the other thing that was questionable was there seemed to be a stipulation that if Tanahashi loses, he never gets to challenge for the title again, but there was a lot of question due to things being lost in translation as to whether it meant he never gets a title shot again, a la Sting in TNA, although I'm sure they'll go back on that, and I think they already have, actually, or he never gets a title shot again against Okada in this reign, which is 1,000 times more manageable and makes it a lot easier for Tanahashi to lose, stipulation-wise. So it did, as we found out, it did end up being that Tanahashi just can't challenge Okada again, because, yes, I'll get to the actual finish of the match. Okada retained, which I was really happy about, actually. And, so just Tanahashi's not... Tanahashi doesn't get to challenge again in Okada's title reign, which is fine, because...
Yeah, which makes more sense.
Because they fought enough.
Well, when we thought about it, too, we're like, are they really going to never let him challenge for the title again?
It's literally like saying John Cena will never get another title shot. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Only if John Cena was massively talented.
If John Cena was an actual wrestler.
Yeah. So it's a lot easier to swallow this way. So, like I said, Okada retained in 35 minutes. And did it feel like 35 minutes to you when we watched it?
No.
That thing flew by.
It felt like 10.
Yeah.
Like a hot 10.
That was the fucking pace these guys worked. Even when they're, like, in submissions and stuff, somehow the pace is still fast.
Yes. Now, two very awesome things happened in this match.
I'm surprised you can bring it down to 2, but...
Sorry, well,
Good on.
the two most memorable things of that match for me were, one, Tanahashi, super babyface,
Yes.
faking a knee injury,
That was weird, but awesome.
and then totally Pearl Harbor's Okada.
Yeah.
Like, goes up top, goes for a jump, lands weird.
Lands hard on his leg.
Goes down, holding his knee, ref
Yeah.
has to come over, and then, bam, takes out
Yeah,
Okada.
and we're going to ourselves, and we're like... Because they showed him land again in slow motion, and we're like, that didn't really look bad, but it really doesn't make any sense if he fakes it.
Yeah.
Because he's completely the face.
Yeah.
But he was.
He was
And
faking it.
Basically, I guess the story was that, their last 2 matches, Okada beat him for the title, and then at the G1, they went to a 30-minute draw where I believe it ended where I think Okada had just hit the Rainmaker and was about to pin him. So Okada's basically got the better of him the last 2 matches, so I guess Tanahashi's getting desperate, is the story.
Yeah.
Which is it's an interesting story to tell. I like when
Well,
they mix up the story a bit.
Also, too, the way I kind of look at it, too, is I think that they... Going into what happens at the end of this match...
Yeah.
That sort of makes sure that he gets the babyface pops.
Yeah.
Even though he probably would have anyways,
Mhm.
but this sort of guarantees that Okada gets the amount of face heat that he should have for his next title defense.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that, because Okada is 100% the face.
Yeah, but even so,
his
he's
next
sort of
match.
still kind of a cocky face, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's borderline heel, but he's just a cocky face.
He and Nakamura...
He's like Orton is when he's a face.
Yeah.
Doesn't really want to be a face, but he is. Like, he has to accept
and gets
it.
cheers.
Yeah, right? Like,
Yeah, he and Nakamura are in an interesting situation. They're actually both in the same stable, which is a heel stable, but they get face pops. Like,
Yeah.
Okada even gets face pops against Tanahashi, who's the number 1 face in the company.
yeah, like they were chanting Okada.
Absolutely, yeah.
Um,
it was essentially a face versus face match as far as the crowd was concerned.
Yeah.
Whether or not Okada's in a heel stable or not.
And the other really cool thing was what Tanahashi was doing to Okada's arm, the Rainmaker arm, which was the elbows over the top, European uppercut the arm,
Just
elbow over the top,
hammering
European uppercut,
the fucking arm.
just beating the shit out of
It
it.
looked great.
So then, of course, when Okada goes to use his submission, he gets it locked in. He's pulling.
And first he had to try so hard to lock it in.
Yeah.
It took him forever to lock it in.
And then when he finally gets it locked in, he's pulling and working, and then eventually his arm hurts so much that he goes dead.
Yeah.
And he has to let go, and they really, really work that, like, the whole second half of the match.
Yeah, Okada selling was fantastic the whole time, because that's one thing I watch for a lot in what I want to be a high-end match. They'll do especially like if you watch a lot of like mid-late 90s New Japan Junior stuff when their junior division was really hot there, they kind of the formula was a bunch of body part work for the first like 5 to 7 minutes and then spots and fuck the body part work, and no one minded that much and they still had really good matches. But when I watch matches now and they do that body part work, I'm rooting for the guy to sell.
Yeah.
Because it makes it so much better. Because I'm like, oh man, come on, please sell it here. Like, don't forget that a guy is beating up that body part, because it makes the match so much better when you sell the thing, because you can work it into everything and it's cool. And Okada did. He sold the arm for everything. Every time he used the arm, he sold it. And I'm not like a stickler in that if you've had your right arm worked, you can't use it, unless that's the story. Unless the story is that the arm is dead, which it's not. It wasn't in this case. No. It was just worked on.
Yeah.
And I'm fine. Hit a guy with an elbow with your right after it's been worked on. Just sell it after you do it. And like, oh fuck, I wish I didn't have to do that, but I do, because it's the arm I throw elbows with. And just sell it. And if you sell consistently, I'm happy. And Okada was sold like a fucking champ, and sold like a guy with actually more experience than he has in main events. Although, I guess Okada's been wrestling he's been wrestling, I think, since around 05. But he's been a main eventer for less than 2 years. So he caught on quick, actually.
He's picked it up, yeah.
Yeah, he's been great. And the finishing sequence, pretty awesome. I think what did they hit the Rainmaker on the fourth attempt in that sequence?
Yeah.
And there was some funky like catching the Rainmaker into like hammerlock stuff, and just like it just constantly moving. But you knew it wasn't so much of a jumble that you didn't know what was happening. You knew each successive thing that each guy was going for, and you saw that got reversed, that got reversed, that got reversed, that got reversed. Boom, Rainmaker, it's over. Oh, and this also had, even though it wasn't that big a deal because of the way it played out, I think this was the first kick out of a Rainmaker ever, but the way it was done probably not even that late, probably 2/3 of the way into the match, 2/3, 3/4. And somewhere in there. Yeah. It wasn't like right at the end. Like there was a big chunk of stuff after
it. Yeah.
And Okada ended up hitting the Rainmaker. Soldier's arm like crazy and went down. Didn't pin him. Took a long time to pin him, and it was pretty clear that it wasn't going to be the pin. So the kick out didn't get like the giant reaction. Whereas if they had just done it later in the match and he had pinned him right away, it would have got a huge, like a massive pop if he had kicked out. But I don't think they want to do that. I think they're still all about protecting finishers like crazy.
Yeah.
And good for them. And another thing I thought was cool was, and this was very late in the match, there was maybe one or two things after it before the finishing sequence. Tanahashi... Oh yeah, they did something. Tanahashi hits the Styles Clash, which is his new setup.
And they even called it
the Styles Clash, which is crazy. I didn't know they did that. Tanahashi hits the Styles Clash, goes up, and Styles Clash obviously leaves Okada on his stomach. Goes up, hits the High Fly Flow, the Frog Splash, to the back, and then Okada very slowly rolls over onto his back. Tanahashi goes back up, and if he hits this Frog Splash, it's over, because that is protected as well as the Rainmaker. And I'm like, this match has been really good. I guess it's over. I guess Tanahashi's winning. I guess New Japan wants Tanahashi in the Tokyo Dome main event because he's a more proven draw than Okada. Okada's not that proven as a draw, etc., etc. And they want to do the rematch with Naito because it went very well the first time. All that. And then he jumps off the top. Okada gets his knees up, and I go, fuck yes! Because one, it meant the match wasn't over, and whenever a match is going as awesome as that, I never want it to end.
Yep.
And two, it meant, Okada's got a pretty good shot at winning now, because he just reversed, like, the guy's finisher. And then they did a few more awesome things to that finishing sequence, and Okada won. So it went perfectly. It was just as good as their April match, which where Okada won the title, which now that I think about it, I seem to like the match. I don't know if it's a coincidence or if I actually do like the matches that Okada wins better. Maybe I like it when Okada wins, although it's not like I'm in the minority. Meltzer rated both of these 5 stars as well, so obviously they're good. I really couldn't say what was better between this and their April match. They're both 5-star matches. It's pretty tough to rank them. If I think one of them should win Match of the Year, I'd have to watch both again to tell you which. But I can't say anything bad about this match, and I will in fact say one other good thing about this match. Tanahashi's when Tanahashi does the top to floor sort of frog splashy plancha, they also call that the High Fly Flow, and the one he did in this match was the best one I've ever seen.
It was great.
It was like his form on it was crazy. I think he jumped further than he usually does. Okada was like further away, and everything about it was great. I will defer to you for any other points on the match.
Unlike you, I think I can make the decisive decision.
Okay.
I say that this one was Match of the Year.
I ain't mad at that.
I think it's just because I liked the psychology of the match a lot more.
Yep.
Of him really working over the arm and dirty tactics when he needed to.
Yep.
And although maybe it's just because it is fresher in my mind, but I will make the bold decision that this one's Match of the Year.
I'm fine with that, which would be interesting because that would be the second straight year that the October pay-per-view main event with Tanahashi in it has been Match of the Year, because last year it was Tanahashi defending against Minoru Suzuki. So October produces good shows.
There you go.
Apparently. Speaking of October producing good shows, tell us about Halloween Havoc 98. And does it compare to this show?
So I looked up Halloween Havoc 98. Oh, God.
Guys, guess who saw Lizzie Halston snatch at the Halloween party? This guy.
Oh, man!
No, I made that up.
Oh, well, of course.
Kelly's here with perfect timing.
Because we just finished reviewing...
Because we just
the
finished
new
reviewing...
Actually, it's not true. We didn't even talk about the end of the main event.
We're not gonna.
Well, apparently now we can.
We'll talk about the end of the main event without talking about who he challenged. So you'll have to not cut... Luckily, you've already cut his promo.
The name of the person I kept yelling wins the match.
Yes, and then, much like the one previous,
So,
they do the Here Comes the
of
New
course,
Challenger.
the Here Comes the New Challenger.
So Bullet Club comes out in full
well,
force.
no.
Devitt comes out riding
Devitt
Foley.
comes out riding Foley.
Yes, sorry, yeah, that's important. Devitt
So
comes
you
out riding
think...
Foley.
And he's got the flag.
Yeah.
And so you think, okay, it's Devitt's challenging for the title.
Yeah.
He gets up on the apron, and as he's about to get in the ring, from behind...
Here comes Carl motherfucking Anderson.
Carl motherfucking Anderson.
Beats the shit
out of him. Gives him a cutter on the belt.
Yeah, a really good one,
A real good one. Stands over top of him, screaming his name at him.
Yes.
Then cuts an awesome promo and says that the fans... He knows the fans don't understand English because they're stupid.
But he knows
this guy understands English. And then pretty much challenges him for the title at the November show.
Said this guy ruined his day at a big match they had last year.
Yep.
And it's been stewing all that time, and now he's gonna come, win the title, get revenge, and he's main event of the Tokyo Dome show. He's probably not going to.
It also gave them their new catchphrase, which I love more than anything.
We are Bullet Club.
We are Bullet Club. Everything we do is real.
So fucking gangster.
So gangster. Okay, so I looked up Halloween Havoc 98 to see how much it compared to this show.
Oh, I remember probably every match from that.
Are you serious?
Can you?
Can you name the top 5 matches? Because that's what we're talking
Okay,
about.
let's go main event and backwards.
I can do the top 2, that's all I can
Main
do.
event was definitely Hogan Warrior.
That was semi-main.
Oh, semi-main, right.
And
it was... No, it was DDP Goldberg.
Yes, which
gets
cut off.
Here's cut off.
Because they went too long.
Then it's
Hogan Warrior.
Hogan Warrior.
And then I believe Brett Sting.
Brett Sting for the U.S. title.
Good work.
And... Okay,
Brett wins by TKO when he put an unconscious Sting in the sharpshooter.
Great.
Best highlight of that match... knocking the ref out, leg dropping the ref on the back of the head, and then superplexing Sting on top of the ref.
Oh my
By
God.
accident.
That's right.
What ref was it?
I don't know. He was just in the wrong place
Hope
at
it's
the
someone
wrong
who
time.
can take a bump.
I want to say... I don't think it's it. I want to say Jericho Raven.
That is opener, apparently.
Is it?
Apparently it opened the show for the television title.
I guess it did.
Jericho won.
I definitely remember the Jericho Raven, and then there was Hoovy Disco.
Oh God, you're right.
And Disco definitely had another match in there. Because I think there was like a tournament thing in it.
Yeah, it was the finals for the number 1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Right.
Which Disco won. That's horrible.
Disco won?
Disco won.
So Disco challenged for the Cruiserweight title?
Apparently.
It's already
His finish, I believe, at the time was the Spike Pile Driver.
Yeah. Several dark matches, apparently. Wrath Ming, Alex Wright Fit Finley, and Perry Saturn Lodi.
Solid.
What was the one?
The other ones were then Billy Kidman defeated Disco Inferno for the to retain the Cruiserweight title.
Oh, so Disco got the shot right away.
Rick Steiner and Bagwell versus the Giant and Steiner. This is where Bagwell turned on Rick Steiner. Yeah. Rick won the tag titles by himself.
Great.
Then he had a singles match with Scott.
Lost tag titles to Scott.
Then there was Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, where Kevin Nash won by countout after he jackknifed Hall like 5 times on the outside and then just left.
Right. That's the one I'm forgetting.
But that's so let's see.
I definitely remember that because my brother came home and we had the WF Raw on the Super Nintendo and he's all like, so I was like, oh, how's the shit? He's like, well, I'll show you the Kevin Nash Prisoner Remote match, and he reenacted it. boom, 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 goes out and gets counted out.
So Goldberg DDP 5 stars, Hogan Warrior 5 stars.
What?
Bret Hart
I think
Sting,
there might have
5
been a
stars.
minus in one of those.
Apparently, I heard a thing online that Hogan has said that him and Warrior from Havoc 98 is the worst match he's ever been a part of.
Wow.
I've definitely heard that.
Apparently, his original plan was he wanted Yokozuna But Yokozuna
was almost dead.
like he couldn't travel or something because he
Yeah.
weighed too much.
That
So
makes
he,
sense.
so he couldn't.
Forklift.
He couldn't get to the show.
Yeah,
So their second choice was Warrior.
Didn't Yoko die in '99?
Like early 99, like
Yeah.
January, and this is October.
And he was
right?
like 800 pounds when he died.
Yeah.
So he's probably 700 pounds at Havoc '98.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's quite in pay-per-view main eventing shape. So what's the verdict? Havoc '98.
Oh no! Apparently he died in October 2000.
Oh, so he had another 2 years.
2 years, but he still was too fat to travel.
Yes. So what's the verdict? This show or Havoc '98 for best top 5 matches?
Really close.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give a slight edge to New Japan. Only a slight edge though, because
fair.
they didn't have Hogan Warrior,
Which legitimately got -5
which
stars.
got -5 stars.
That is fair. Are we able to preview the next show
Without spoiler alerts?
Spoiling.
I'm
I'm gonna look at it and see what we can do.
Not really. We might have to preview it before we watch it
Yeah,
because
that
this
might work.
guy won't be there.
What if this guy is there?
Are you coming? Then we're coming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's fine. We'll do it before. We'll do it sometime before he gets there, or we'll
Yeah.
make him go play with your cat outside, and we'll do it.
I don't even know you.
Whatever. I don't feel
What
it.
are you doing, mister?
Now-
Yeah, because I think it'd be tough to like tell the title match and stuff. Without,
Before we leave, can I just give you a quick rundown of Halloween Havoc 2000?
Oh
Yes.
boy. I can tell you... No, I can't.
You can't, Scott. You can't even tell me a wrestler on the show.
I was going to say I could tell you one match that was awesome, but I think that was Fall Brawl. Can you check Fall Brawl? Because where's my...
Fall Brawl 2000.
Yeah.
Fall Brawl 2000. What match are you thinking?
Goldberg-Steiner.
Scott Steiner defeated Goldberg in a no disqualification match.
It is so good.
Well, I doubt you.
I don't. It's Goldberg's second best match ever, behind DDP.
Yeah.
At Havoc 98.
Okay.
Steiner gives Goldberg a top rope belly suplex. Goldberg lands directly on his head, and it's the best thing I've ever seen.
Okay, I will give you just the fast rundown of this is Halloween Havoc 2000. Natural Born Thrillers, Mark Jindrak and Sean O'Hare defeat the Filthy Animals, Billy Kidman and Rey Mysterio Jr., and the Boogie Knights, Disco and Alex Wright, in a triangle match to retain the WCW World Tag Team titles.
Great.
Reno defeats Sergeant AWOL to retain the WCW Hardcore title.
Pay-per-view match.
The Misfits in action, Lieutenant Loco and Corporal Cajun defeat the Perfect Event, Sean Stasiak and Chuck Palumbo.
Where the hell did Lash LaRue go after WCW?
We'll find out.
Did he do anything ever?
Wasn't he in TNA for a little bit at the very beginning?
WCW 2000 to 2005, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling and retirement. He appeared in the inaugural TNA Wrestling pay-per-view on June 19th, competing in a gauntlet for the gold where he was eliminated by Jeff Jarrett. The following week, Lash LaRue suffered a neck injury while working on the independent circuit and was initially told that he needed surgery. He saw the second doctor, however, and underwent 7 months of physical rehabilitation without surgery until his neck healed. From April to July 2004, Lash traveled south to Orlando, Florida, and appeared occasionally on TNA's secondary television show Explosion.
The Explosion guy. I love
LaRue also competed for a number of independent promotions, including Georgia Championship Wrestling and NWA Wrestle Birmingham, and made a number of appearances in Deep South Wrestling.
it. Solid.
Apparently now he is a cartoonist.
Oh yeah, I remember he did drawings.
Drawings. Anyways, back
to Havoc 2000.
The Filthy Animals, Conan and Tigress defeat Shane Douglas and Tori Wilson.
Tigress.
Buff Bagwell defeats David
Conan
Flair.
wrestled in 2000?
Apparently.
That's a mess.
Buff Bagwell defeated David Flair in a First Blood DNA match. Bagwell busted open Flair after hitting him with a steel wheelchair.
I'm sorry, did you say First Blood DNA match?
DNA. I guess it's just their term for a First Blood match.
weird.
Mike Saunders with Sean Stasiak and Chuck Palumbo defeats Ernest Miller with Miss Jones by countout in a kickboxing match, 3rd round. Miss Jones apparently was one of the Nitro Girls. Miller was
because in 2000 they tried to give every
they were all
Nitro
ballets
girl
and stuff.
a job.
Yeah. Miller was counted out while brawling with Shane Douglas. Saunders became the new commissioner of WCW. Mike Awesome defeated Vampiro with an Awesome Bomb. General Rection defeated Lance Storm and Jim Duggan in a handicap match to win the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship.
General who?
General Rection.
General Hugh G.
Okay.
Rection. Get it together, man.
Jeff Jarrett defeated Sting. Jarrett pinned Sting after hitting him with a guitar and much interference by a multitude of fake stings. Booker T defeated Scott Steiner by disqualification to retain the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Goldberg defeated Chronic in a handicap elimination match.
Time.
3 minutes and 35 seconds.
Yeah.
Goldberg pinned Clark after a spear through a table. Goldberg pinned Adams after a jackhammer. A minute apart.
Wow.
That's how you do it.
Was that the semi-main?
That was the main.
No.
Yeah.
Was
Cut.
the
Print.
main.
Roll it out.
Why?
Because it's Goldberg, baby.
Oh my god.
Goldberg
So-
and Chronic.
The semi-main was Booker Steiner for the world title.
Yep.
And the main was a Goldberg handicap squash.
Squash.
Why didn't I buy this show?
Because you are too cool.
Classic mistake.
That's, yeah.
Can you find that whole show on YouTube? Because they definitely put the whole WCW shows on
They do, actually. I've watched them. And then, of course, before we leave tonight, the very last pay-per-view, WCW Mayhem 2000.
You mean not Greed?
November 26, 2000.
That was... No, 99 was the tournament finals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, that was Mayhem chronologically. That wasn't the last pay-per-view. The last pay-per-view is... Oh, boy.
Long Greed.
The last of 2000 or the last any?
The last.
Greed.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Greed. Held
It was Sin.
in Jacksonville, Florida.
It was because
March 18th, 2001.
Yeah, 2001 they decided to rename all the pay-per-views,
Yep.
even though they were going out of business.
Yep.
Instead of Sold Out, it was Sin.
Yep.
Instead of Super Bowl 11, it was Super Bowl Revenge.
Of
Because
course.
fuck you.
Of course.
And instead of Uncensored, it was Greed. Because again,
Censored.
Greed.
fuck you.
So, this is how the very last WWE pay-per-view will be remembered in the history of wrestling.
I think I can tell you a couple of matches on it.
Well, see if you can.
I think it was the finals of the Cruiserweight Tag Team Title Tournament. And I think Kid Romeo and Elix Skipper defeated Ray and Kidman.
Correct?
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're a fancy boy.
I know. I'm shaving my legs. I think Shane Helms had a match for the Cruiserweight title.
I thought you were just going to stop there. Shane Helms had a match.
I consider that. I think it might have been Shane Helms Chavo.
You are correct.
Excellent. The title match, I think, was Booker Steiner again.
Yeah, I was going to say probably Booker.
Incorrect.
Was it
Steiner was in it, though, right?
Steiner defeated Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh.
To retain.
And then lost to
to
Booker
retain.
on
And then
Nitro.
lost to Booker on Nitro.
Right. I don't think I can tell you a lot besides that. But I'm happy.
Jason Jett defeats Kiwi.
Oh, fuck yeah, he did. That was a good match.
Sean Stasiak defeats Bam Bam Bigelow.
That wasn't.
Team Canada of Lance Storm and Michael Awesome defeat Conan and Hugh Morris.
Oh, we're going downhill. Why the fuck were Conan and Hugh Morris a team?
In 2001.
That's not anything.
It's something.
Natural Born Thrillers of Sean O'Hare and Chuck Palumbo defended their tag team titles against Totally Buffed, Luger and Bagwell.
Oh, that's a bad
They
team.
won in 54 seconds.
I thought you said minutes.
So did I. And
I
was
really
about
wanted you to say minutes.
lose my goddamn
I
mind.
think, if I remember correctly, what happened was Bagwell turned on
Luger?
Because it's not a WCW tag match until someone turns on
Of
someone.
course. You can't be a team at the end of the night.
No, all teams have to hate each other. That's a Russo classic.
Ernest Miller defeats Canyon.
Sure.
Booker T defeats Rick Steiner for the U.S. title.
I didn't know Rick Steiner was around right at the end. I guess he
And
was.
Dusty Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes defeat Ric Flair and Jeff Jarrett.
Okay,
In a loser has to kiss a
Kiss
goat's ass match.
Yeah.
I would have bet money that Dustin Rhodes was not around for any of that last part of WCW.
Yeah.
Well, he was on the last pay-per-view.
Was he was it only that, or was he around for like a few months?
I think he was around for a few months because it
I
was
really
because
don't
they had the
remember that.
Flair Dusty feud, and then they brought him in and Jarrett got involved and that whole business.
Because he's really Jarrett's son.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Let's read up here. I'm just gonna see what it says. Return to WCW. Reynolds returned to WCW in 1999, filming several vignettes for a fantastical face-painted character.
Oh,
That I remember.
seven, yeah,
That is
that
the one thing I
remember.
remember.
These vignettes contained ominous
That was
footage
7,
of Rhodes
yeah.
in full makeup standing outside a child's bedroom window.
Yeah.
The gimmick was reported to have been based on The Stranger from the 1998 film noir Dark City. The
Right.
character was dropped after Turner Standards and Practices expressed concerns that the gimmick could be misinterpreted as a child abductor. Upon returning to WCW television, Rhodes removed his costume and delivered a worked shoot in which he mocked unrealistic gimmicks, as well as his time as Goldust in the WWF.
What's so funny about that is that it's not like the plan from day one was to tease this thing and then have him do the work shoot on dumb gimmicks. They were going to do
they
dumb
were doing
gimmick.
a dumb gimmick, yeah.
and then
Turner's like, you can't do it.
They're like, oh, how are we going to fix this?
After turning heel upon his return, Reynolds began wrestling as the American Nightmare, Dustin Rhodes.
Do not remember that.
With his nickname, a reference to his father's name, the American Dream.
Thanks.
Rhodes feuded with Jeff Jarrett before turning heel. You just said he was heel.
Wait.
Oh, no, whatever. Rhodes feuded with Jarrett, before Jarrett turned heel, and then was feuding with Terry Funk. He was suspended in April 2000 due to an appearance on the WCW Live internet radio program in which he criticized WCW head writer Vince Russo, calling him a sawed-off midget and an asshole.
And also he was probably on 12 pounds of painkillers.
Probably. He returned to WCW television in January 2001.
Okay, so he was gone for like...
Assisting his father in his feud with Jarrett and eventually Ric Flair. He wrestled on the very last WCW pay-per-view, WCW Greed, on March 18th. In March 2001, WCW was purchased by WWF, with the WWF neglecting to acquire Reynolds' contract.
Huge mistake.
In July 2001, Reynolds, while still under contract to AOL Time Warner, began wrestling for his father's new created Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling promotion, winning the promotion's heavyweight title. And then in December, he accepted a buyout for his AOL Time Warner contract and was re-signed by WWF to a 2-year deal.
Because he showed up at Rumble 2000?
Yeah.
No, Rumble 2001. Or 2002.
Oh, yeah.
2002 is what I meant.
Yes.
Because obviously he was not there at Rumble 2000.
You fucking piece of shit.
I'm sorry.
And that is your history lesson of Dustin Reynolds.
And 7 years later, he became the best wrestler in WWE.
Absolutely.
And has been since then, even though he hasn't been there for a lot of that time.
Oh, boy. I'm sorry to keep going here, but I need to read you...
What? Wait a second.
Oh, boy.
What was Reynolds' gimmick in the WWE? Was it in 99 or 98?
The artist formerly known as Goldust.
Is that when he's walking around with the fucking, like, the jeans and, like, the jean shirt and, like, the weird racing gloves? And he would be in the front of the sign.
It was when he was, like, a savior.
That was
a Jesus
just,
gimmick.
that was just Dustin Reynolds.
That was a Jesus gimmick.
Oh.
Yeah. That was pretty awesome, actually. I enjoyed that gimmick.
Yeah.
That was after Goldust.
And before artist formerly known as.
Artist formerly known as
Goldust was weird.
Wore, like, green stuff.
I'll read you the thing. In May 1998, Rhodes declared the end of Goldust and burned his jumpsuit on television, thereby splitting with Luna and eventually getting involved with Terry Reynolds once again. He feuded with Val Venus, who had been involved with Terry during their separation. Now going by his real name, Dustin Reynolds, began speaking out mostly in tape vignettes on the increasingly edgy WWF product and promoting alternatives to watch the show, such as reading the Bible. These vignettes were sponsored by the fictional group Evangelists Against Television, Movies, and Entertainment. Eat Me is what it spells out.
That's pretty funny.
The acronym, which was Eat Me, a thinly veiled joke on the WWF's part. Reynolds declared himself a born-again Christian, alluding to his return, and walking through the crowd with signs reading, "He's coming back."
He's coming, that's right.
While the return of Christ was clearly implied, Reynolds was in fact referencing the return of the Goldust gimmick, which he reprised in October 1998 against Val Venus, and then in November 1998, he began feuding with Jeff Jarrett over the attention of his manager, Deborah. In early 1999, Goldust feuded with Al Snow upon stealing Head, Snow's mascot, and the Blue Meanie, who had recently renamed himself Blue Dust and adopted many of Goldust's mannerisms. After Goldust defeated Meanie at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, Meanie became Goldust's apprentice. After Ryan Shamrock became Goldust's valet, Meanie and Shamrock began vying for Goldust's attention. In the same time period, Goldust won the Intercontinental Championship against the Road Dogg and lost it to the Godfather 2 weeks later. And then he returned to WCW. But before we finish this storyline, I need to read you the roster for Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling.
Ooh, I don't like this.
Which ran from, let's see what it says here.
I remember a chunk of the 2000s.
2000 to 2003.
Okay, yeah.
The roster consists of Dusty Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes, Sean Evans, Lodi, David Flair, Glacier, Big Ron Studd, Sonny Siaki, Scotty Riggs, Scott Hall, Disco Inferno, Yoshihiro Tajiri, Super Crazy, Steve Corino, C.W. Anderson, Bullet Bob Armstrong, Scott Armstrong, Barry Windham, Kendall Windham, Manny Fernandez, Damian Steele, Jorge Estrada, Steve the Brawler Lawler, Daphne, Leilani Kai, and some chick named Bambi. And then Bobby Eaton, Ricky Morton, Eric Watts, Public Enemy, and that is the extent of TCW.
That's an interesting group. So, like, WCW rejects, ECW guys doing stuff on their time off.
Oh, man, do you want... Oh.
Well, remember when Eric Watts almost tried to commit
He tried to kill
suicide
himself, yeah.
before his match?
Yeah.
And they came out and wrestled the match.
Yeah.
You know,
And
things change.
it was him versus...
No, Raven.
Yeah, and they did the spot off the ramp to the floor, and Eric Watts pulled a Snitsky where he was laughing the whole time because he thought it was stupid. I'll give you the quick rundown of the TCW Heavyweight Championship history. Glacier,
Yeah.
Barry Windham, Scotty Anton.
Why'd you... Okay, hold on.
No, I like... Wait,
You just yayed Glacier and booed Barry Windham.
oh, you said Barry Windham?
What do you think I said? Kendall Windham?
Larry Windham?
I don't know, I didn't hear Barry, but okay, yay.
Glacier, Barry Windham,
Yeah.
Scotty Anton,
Oh, yeah.
Barry Windham again,
Yeah.
Scotty Anton again, Dustin Rhodes,
I want to see that feud, by the way.
Scotty Anton again, and the final champion of TCW, Glacier for a second time,
Yeah! That's my man.
in September 2002.
That's strong booking.
Glacier's just a fucking... He's Sub-Zero is what he is.
Yeah. Oh, that brought things to a grinding halt.
Scotty Anton, who one of my most memorable moments of Scotty Anton
Taking the first Van Terminator?
was when he was in ECW and he had that feud with RVD and they had that match at what was the pay-per-view
I think
in
Heatwave.
Los Angeles.
Heatwave.
And and he defeated him by using the first ever Van Terminator. That was probably like my one Scotty Riggs moment.
Yeah. I think my other Scotty Riggs moment, I think he was Mikey Whipwreck's opponent in Whipwreck's WCW pay-per-view debut.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's that.
And of course he was part of one of the best old creepy men masturbate to younger guys tag team of all time. The American
American
Males.
Males. You know it. Him and Marcus Alexander Bagwell.
That was back when RV would actually springboard in the Van Terminator.
Not climb up, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when he climbs up, I'm like, you're not going to make it. Man.
When he-
You need some
Yeah.
He's
When he was
momentum.
agile. When he was agile enough
Yeah.
to jump up. Now
Yeah.
he's too afraid to fall.
Yeah, the springboarding days are over. To be fair, what's Rob Van Dam, like 42?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Give him a break, guys.
Yeah, sure.
He got a 3-month payday. Now he's done.
Oh boy. I think I need to watch this pay-per-view.
What's his favorite?
Heatwave 2000.
Oh, I thought...
It's got some,
Okay.
It's got some decent stuff
Here's
on
a
it.
bold statement. Every ECW pay-per-view that aired in Canada, which is Anarchy Rules 99 on, was awesome.
Yep.
I loved every one.
Yep.
Without a trace of irony.
Yep.
They were great. They're so much fun.
This one's got some good stuff on it.
Heatwave 2000. So it's RVD.
Big
Anton.
Sally Graziano with Tony Mamaluke,
Good start.
who are two of Josh's favorite workers.
Yes.
Defeated Balls Mahoney in a minute 38. Kid Cash, Danny Doring, and Amish Roadkill defeat Simon Diamond, C-Dub, and Johnny Swinger.
Okay.
Jerry Lynn, Steve Carino.
Okay.
Chetty and Nova versus the Baldys.
Lynn Carino was great. That's
Yeah.
that's where Lynn paints dye on his chest.
Yeah. It's great. Chetty and Nova defeat the Baldys. Tajiri defeats Whipwreck, Guido, and Psychosis in a four-way dance.
That was good.
Rhino Sandman for the television title, which is where Rhino
Power drives
pile drives him onto the steel guardrail.
Yeah.
His wife?
Not his
I
wife.
think the wife was on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, RVD defeats Scotty Anton, and Justin Credible defeats Tommy Dreamer in a Stairway to Hell match.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
See if it's on YouTube.
What, that whole
The
pay-per-view?
Fumble show. That probably is.
It probably is.
I don't know, because the E owns the rights to it, right?
Oh, that's
so,
Well,
like,
they
I
own
get-
WCW
that's
too,
right.
and that's not stopping anyone.
Heatwave 2000 full show. Well, I guess as we're done reviewing things now, it's totally on there. The whole fucking
That's
pay-per-view. It's
awesome.
right
We're
here.
watching that.
I guess to end off everything, we will be reviewing the next New Japan pay-per-view when Kelly Tiffany Summers is not in the room.
Or
stands for?
Or if he is in the room, if he's seen it.
If he's seen it.
Even if he watches the pay-per-view...
He still has to stay out of the room.
No, I was just going to say, if he watches the pay-per-view and then we're going to review it, does he still not want us to review it because we might spoil things from the last pay-per-view that he still hasn't seen yet?
Yes.
Okay.
So for now, that's the end of wrestling talk.
And until next time.
No,
No, we only do WrestleMania song for WrestleMania shows.
but Linda McMahon was coming out.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, she was. But
Come out of the
there's
closet.
a new sheriff in town.
Oh, God.
Well, until next time, Chris Frank is a shithead.
That's what you did last time.
He's a shithead!
Man. You're mad.
Until my balls stop hurting, he's
They
still
still hurt?
going to be a shithead.
That was June. This is November.
They still hurt.
That was the second hardest I've ever laughed. The first time being like what, a week or 2 weeks previous?
Yep.
We almost
Milk?
drowned in milk.
And Drew did Buddhist monk protesting. Well, I was gonna
People
say,
saw it.
not everyone saw it.
Most people saw
I
it.
think most people saw it. I don't need to explain it.
You can stop talking.
If you haven't seen it, you should see it. 22 short stories starring ISUXDIX. No, 22 short stories about ISUXDIX, not starring.
But also starring ISUXDIX.
Yeah, true, but go watch it if you haven't watched it. It's really good. And yeah, until next time, the Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling World Title is a shithead.
Parents on Halloween are shitheads because they've ruined it.
There you go.